Hey everybody, it's Ariane Bellis here with Inspired to Style, here with the third video in this keeping room design series. Now in the first video, I told you how important getting function right was to creating an effective space. Then in the second video, I came back and shared with you how to bring a little bit of style into your space with colors and fabrics and textures. Now in this final video of the series, I'm going to share with you how to put the icing on the cake. Here's where we talk details. If you've ever wondered why the pictures in the magazines or on Pinterest or on house.com look so great and finished, it's because the decorator or designer of that space has really thought through everything down to the smallest detail. Design is in the details. So let's talk about my top 5 tips for bringing in that little bit of design that will put your space over the top. Tip number 1, remember two of the most important elements of design, scale and proportion. Although these two terms are often used interchangeably, they actually mean two different things. Scale refers to the size or shape of something in relation to the room or you. Proportion refers to the size or shape of something as it relates to the things around it. A great visual for you would be this wall behind my sectional sofa. In terms of scale, the wall is only about 10 feet wide, but that's a pretty expansive area to fill. So I chose to use the length and height of the sofa to determine the right solution for that area. I decided to place a sofa console directly behind the sofa and against the wall to give me a place to rest 2 table lamps. I chose a large 40 by 40 inch piece of artwork to fill most of the space between the lamps, and then I added a few shorter accessories to add varying heights to the display. On the inset wall in the sitting area, I chose to add 3 medallions hung in a vertical line to take up most of that long, narrow space. 2 different solutions, but both are correct based on the scale and proportion needed for those 2 spaces. Tip number 2, bring in meaningful artwork. I purchased this original piece painted by Laura Taylor at one of my local art shops. It's the right size, it supports the color scheme of my room, and it depicts oysters floating in the ocean. Perfect for my coastal elegance theme. Tip number 3, when mixing patterns, vary shapes and styles, but keep the color scheme consistent to create a cohesive look. In my sitting area, I've got that fabulous ikat pattern on the curtain panels, which is a medium-sized geometric print. The chairs are covered in small stripes that pulls in the beige and aqua from that inspiration fabric, and then the pillows on the chairs have a large damask print. 3 different prints, 3 different styles, 3 different shapes, but one consistent color story. Tip number 4, carefully curate accessories that add those vitally important little details. Whether you're adding vases, candlestick holders, throws, or accent pieces, make sure you have a place to put them in your room. There's nothing worse than grabbing a sculpture you love at the local store and realizing you don't have a place for it. Tip number 5, add an element of surprise to your room. It's easy to overlook some of the most practical and functional spaces in our rooms. How many of you would have just placed a bowl of fruit on your kitchen island? Don't get me wrong, sometimes the minimalist approach is the right one, especially if that's your preferred style. But I wanted to push the envelope and bring color, texture, and layers into the kitchen area. So I chose to create a dramatic tablescape, including 3 large vases and layered place settings. This was my opportunity to bring in color, pattern, and texture into this area of the room. I hope you found these tips helpful, and I hope that you enjoyed the Keeping Room Design series. I'll be back with more videos soon, but I'm taking you with me to High Point Market. We're gonna go shopping together for some really fun accessories and furniture pieces for my living room, which, let me just take you here for a second. Here's your blooper reel. This is what my living room looks like. And you're gonna help me furnish it, so stay tuned.